Okay, sir. Okay, sir, thank you.
If now that you've confirmed that you, Robert Kipchirchir Limoh, the clerk, could you please administer oath to the nominee?
I, Engineer Robert Kipchirchir Limoh, do swear that that information I shall give before this committee on matters under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Welcome again, Engineer Robert Limoh. This is a committee on appointments together with the Secretariat, and today we're privileged to have friends of this committee who are honorable members to this county assembly. I'll introduce the committee together with the honorable members. Thereafter, the deputy clerk will introduce the secretariat. I'm the chairperson, and my name is Cheriot Meli. You can have the deputy speaker introduce himself and also declare any interest, if any.
Thank you, Chair. Murton Sang, a deputy speaker. I don't have interest. I don't know the nominee.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I'm Honorable Walter Teno, a member and also leader of majority county, in the county, and I don't have any interest about the nominee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Engineer. I'm CPA Paul Birech, member of this appointment committee. Honorable Chair, I have no interest with the nominee. Thank you.
My name is Kirongo Eliud, a member of this committee, leader of minority. Chair, I don't have any conflict of interest. Thank you.
I'm Sarah Mutual, member. I have no interest.
My name is Martin, a member of this committee, and of course, I have no interest, Mr. Chair, unless he's got some interest on me, Mr. Chair.
We can have the members who are present introduce themselves.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Keter Julius, also Majority Whip, County Assembly of Nandi.
Good afternoon to you all. I'm Trufosa Kuto. I'm not a member. I'm just there listener. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I'm Lucy Tolale, a friend to this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm Honorable Josephat Arbe, a friend to the committee, and the nominee is well known to me. Thank you.
Deputy Clerk.
Good afternoon. I'm CS Isabella Mayo, Deputy Clerk Legislative. I have a team of Secretariat.
My name is Dorothy Chipto, Secretariat to this committee.
Thank you for that elaborate introduction. We also have the members in the public gallery. I know for them, they won't have an opportunity to introduce themselves. So to our nominee, welcome again to this committee on appointments. As earlier indicated, this is a committee established pursuant to Standing Order 187 to consider the approval hearing for the CCM members as provided for under Article 179 of the Constitution. You are going to have an engagement with the members of this committee for about 60 minutes. We expect the honorable members to ask you questions, very precise questions through the chair, and we also expect you to answer those questions concisely through the chair. So I just want to confirm whether you have your original documents. That is to include the ID card or passport, the academic documents, your CV, and also clearance forms from the KRA, the DCI, the Higher Education Loans Board, the CRB, and lastly, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission.
Yes, affirmative, Chair.
Will you please hand them over to the clerk for verification purposes? So to the nominee, I'll take you through the procedural questions, but before that, we want to give you an opportunity to make your opening remarks in less than 10 minutes to make your opening remarks by telling us whom you are. Welcome.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. As I've stated before, my name's Eng.Robert Kipchirchir Limoh, an engineer by profession. Currently, I'm a director at Lake Basin Development Authority. I'm also chair committee of finance in that board. Other than that, I'm a consultant. I have a consultancy firm. I'm in charge of several projects, flagship projects, water, roads, all over the country, from West Pokot to Mombasa, those sides. Before, I've worked in several other projects in those sides of Coast, Mandera, and also the sides of Baringo as a consultant and a lead engineer, and also a contractor in some of those projects. My ambitions are not limited to what I've been doing. I appreciate the fact that I've been considered for this position. I definitely have further ambitions to achieve far more. Also to make sure that by me to achieve that, I have to make sure that I deliver for Nandi people. That's the expectation of Nandi. If this committee or this assembly considers me, I'll really appreciate, but I'll make sure that I honor the Nandi people by giving back to them in the expectation they are giving it to me. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That was very brief. Now that you've saved a number of minutes, we hope that you'll tell us much as we proceed. So what do you think makes you suitable for this particular job that you've been nominated by His Excellency the Governor?
Okay, Chair and honorable members, other than being an engineer, Chair and honorable members, I feel confident in me and more motivated that I'm going to deliver for Nandi people. Of course, I'll be expecting support from members, these honorable members, and also my colleague, CCs, just in case that's if I'm approved. I feel, Chair, that I have the energy in me. I have the confidence in me. I have the qualification. I know what Nandi is. I know what is ailing Nandi somehow to some extent. So I'll give you the confidence, Chair, and the public that expect a lot from me.
Before we make any further progress, we'll wish to know whether you've ever been dismissed or otherwise removed from office for contravention of the provisions of Article 75 of the Constitution or any other legislation.
None, Chair.
If that is the case, what is then your financial net worth?
Chair, I'll give an approximate figure, just below 200 million, Chair, spread out on properties and businesses.
So you said it is comprised of?
Properties, businesses, salaries, that's it.
Okay. He said just below 200 million, it could be 199,999,000. So he said below 200 million. Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Okay, thank you, Chair. The nominee, one question or two. One, what are the functions of a county executive member? And then two, what are the responsibilities of a CCM to the county assembly? What are the functions of the county executive? And then two, what are the responsibilities given this chance as a CCM to the county assembly?
Okay, Chair and honorable members, the function as per the Constitution, it's expected that the county executive member is responsible for administration and delivering on services to the county, and also the other role is given by any other law, any other role given by the Constitution, and also any other incidental laws which might be created from time to time to add more responsibilities for the member. Responsibilities to the county assembly chair and honorable members is majorly for it can, the CEC member can bring a bill to this assembly for approval and passing to be a law. Then also there will be the other responsibility of CEC member is to deliver reports either quarterly or maybe as need be to the committee and to enlarge to the full house.
I think that is well elaborate, and I know reading the County Governments Act, and to be very precise, Section 47 of the County Government Act requires the County Executive Committee to put in place a performance management plan to evaluate the performance of the county public service and also the implementation of the county policies. In your own opinion, do you think the county government of Nandi has realized the objectives of devolution?
Okay, Chair. To my knowledge, to the extent I have information, and also being a resident of Nandi, we might not have achieved as per the expectation, as per the people who came up with the 2010 Constitution. But Chair, to be sincere to the people of Nandi, there is so much progress we've achieved. All these health facilities would not have achieved without the county government of Nandi. All this infrastructure which we are getting now, it was very complicated communication, taking communication upward without proper structures. It's not easy. For example, I'll give you an example of my village area, Kemeloi there. It's easier for somebody to come to Nandi County Assembly and prosecute their complaints than if that person was going to Nairobi, where you don't know even the place. So somehow it's easier, these people, to, when they do also public participation, they normally articulate their priorities. I believe so. And from where I come from, I believe every priority which has been articulated by the community down there or the people down there has always been not wholesomely achieved, but somehow there is progress towards that achievement of that, the expectation. So there is still room for improvement, Chair, and maybe given an opportunity, definitely, we'll try to input our energy and our knowledge on this so that we can try to improve on the expectation and also the achievement as per the expectation of the Constitution or the framers of the Constitution.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Martin.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Engineer Robert.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I think my question is about the disparity in terms of road network in our wards. I mean, what kind of plan do you have to make sure that all the wards receive, there is equity in all the wards?
Yes, Honorable Chair and members, I'll take at least some knowledge about the road networks in the whole country and the way the management as per the Kenya Roads Board. With Kenya Roads Board, there is categorization of roads, whereby we have class A to class F. Class A to C is meant for the national government, and class D to F is meant for the county government. The only issue which we've been having, Honorable Chair, members and Chair, is that we are somehow trying to handle everything at the same time. We end, by the end of the day, spreading so much thin. If at all we can also give ourselves prioritization in the name of, we need to categorize our roads as Nandi County, so that each and every ward should be having a major road. We call it a major road in that case, or we just borrow the way they've classified from Kenya Roads Board, whereby that there is class D, class E, class F of categories of roads, so that for category D, for example, means that road has to be graded, marrammed to a certain class, compacted, all the drainage to be taken care of. We go to class E. Maybe that one will need minor or spot marraming, grading, spot marraming, and compaction are also taking care of drainages to some extent. You go to category E, you give it grading only, maybe for that case, and maybe drainages and those other aspects. And then category F is whereby you are looking at having roads, you opening of new roads, so that at least each and every member should be articulating issues to the community, telling them that for my roads, I have 10 kilometers, which even if you will get stuck elsewhere coming, but when you reach this main road, you definitely find a very well marram road, compacted, well drained, and all the culverts has been done, so that we don't give another ward so much priority and the other ward less priority. I know it involves some bills, honorable members, somehow to bring whatever has been set by Kenya Roads Board, but with that one, so that when we'll be pushing for budgeting, we know the next phase after, if we've considered all the category D roads for that case, when we'll be moving the next phase, it will be spot patching on this category D road, but you are moving now, upgrading the category E road to the category level of category D, pulling the also category F to this other category. So in that way, you can tell, you can be confidently telling the electorates that, look, for this phase, I'm doing this and this road to this category because this is the categorization. If we've adopted for national government, for example, in Kera, Kura, and all those areas, say that they know if a category B road is done, it needs to be done thickness of 2 inches. Category C road has to be done thickness of 1 inch. And community has been informed and enlightened clearly. There is no complaint by community that, that you've not done this road, but because the area member of parliament, for example, will definitely tell him, tell them, look, this road is of this category, and in the budget, we've allocated this much for category A roads. Category B road, we've allocated this much. So that way, it will be very clear, and each and every member will be having a clear articulation of issues to the electorate that for now, we've allocated this much, and each and every constituency or each and every ward has this much. And then another thing, honorable members, we have a problem when we are spreading thin. We tend to budget based on resources rather than budgeting based on project. If I'm budgeting based on resources, I'll say I'm spreading 4 million everywhere. Then I need only 3 months and that thing is scrapped completely. You don't even notice anything was done. But if we are budgeting based on project, you are very sure you have a whole year that road has been done to the standard, or that facility or that thing has been done to the standard. And the other ones you spread out now to based on those categorization. I think that would be my take, honorable member and chair.
Yeah, my second question is, I know you are a resident of Nandi, and you know the position, the current situation of the roads in our county. You know it very well. Tell me, I know you have good ideas. You've given these if given this position as the CEC. But again, sometimes your good ideas, due to unavoidable circumstances, because of course you'll be working under different people, you know, and sometimes you might not be given the leverage to do as per your wishes. Supposing it get to that point, what would be your next course of action?
Honorable Chair and members, other than being a professional engineer, I'm a politician also to some in my own capacity. So I believe the Constitution had already dictated that you have to negotiate with the people. You not always your way. You will not always have your way. You'll always try to convince the others to accept your proposal. If at all, I've convinced members of this House, Honorable Chair and members, that in the next financial year, for example, or the supplementary we are going to do, at least this is the priorities I'm looking at, and these are the things from what you've brought forth. These are the things I'm looking at to be achieved. Even if there will be those resistance, as long as it's with open heart, with clear set mind, with clear intention to the community. Also, I'm a resident, I know what is needed down there with the people. That person will have to convince that other person down there that I'm resisting this thing because of this and this and this. Because me, I believe in unity. I believe in everybody performing his role. I believe in each and everyone to give his views, but definitely we'll need to reach a point of agreement somewhere. So I don't expect that person, unless he just have some funny ill motive. You know, somebody can decide to be just an opposition, an opposer of everything, but I don't expect to be only two of us opposing each other. There will be several people who will be proposing, and maybe they will be with me in some things. So other than being a professional person, I also believe in negotiation and having a common ground on some things. So if I don't win wholesomely today, I'm very sure tomorrow, having delivered on the limited I've won, I'll definitely win the next phase of the battle.
Honorable Sarah.
So thank you, Chair. So Engineer Lim, so I hope that you are not the engineer in quotes, yeah? You are the real engineer. Okay, feel welcome. So my question I'll just direct to the monster of maintenance. We know it very well that in Africa, and when you narrow it to Nandi County, maintenance at times is 0%, especially to things that belongs to the government. So here, yeah, we have machinery in the Department of Roads. Okay, so engineer, so in case you are given this opportunity to serve as a CEC for roads, yeah? So how will you go about the maintenance of the machinery, yeah, of the machines that we have in our county?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Member. Mr. Speaker, in engineering, there are no surprises. Always things happen with already indicated warning in advance. So if I don't know maintenance, scheduled maintenance for my equipments, I don't expect to get service from those equipments. So I have to plan for service for those equipments. Those equipments have to be maintained with scheduled maintenance. It needs to have a program. The equipments give a signal or a data which warns you in advance that for a certain period of time, it's been having a certain chronic issue. So you need your team to be equipped in analyzing that data based on maybe downtime and things like that. From that one, it will tell me if this equipment has reached its shelf life or I need to phase it out. Also, there should be inventory based on the data I'm getting. I should be having an inventory of knowing what is the most critical items which are needed in this equipment, for example, so that I can plan ahead. If I'm having a grader, for example, I definitely know maybe because of history of this document, the inventory data I have in this equipment, it keeps asking for maybe a fuel pump or something like that. Definitely, I need to be planning myself and keeping proper inventory for the critical items. The inventory gives me information on the consumption of the specific items. The inventory gives me the data on downtime and working hours of this equipment. Also, I need to equip my staff by being working closely with the suppliers of this equipment so that at least they can be trained to do some bit of early detection or minor maintenance, the first line maintenance, the second line maintenance. Those are steps of maintenance before it reaches a stage of a workshop. My principle, Honorable Member and Chair, is you cannot convert a site to be a maintenance shop. When my equipment is leaving the workshop, it has to be serviceable. If this equipment is finding itself at the site, then I'm being given information that this equipment is, unless I change the operator maybe midway, so he doesn't have a history of this equipment, we don't have data of this equipment. Apart from that also, Chair, I'll definitely come back to this house to request for more funding to take care of the budget for maintenance, at least to improve on the budget for maintenance to prepare for any eventuality of something like that. In the worst case scenario, I normally try to think of planning for a worst case scenario whereby you need to have makeup equipment maybe for hire for a certain period of time. It cannot be always the whole period of time unless maybe that department, Chair and honorable members, don't know what they are using. So for my case, I believe I need to do my inventory well, I need to do schedule maintenance well, I need to equip my staff by doing maybe what is the staff not establishment as such, but building capacity to those staff, to the staff, specifically for those maintenance. I also need to build capacity for the operators. I need to request for maybe some level of extra funding to take care of any eventuality based on the record, the data we are having from the inventories which we are feeding. Then each and every person of the department has a role to play, Chair. So if you are a maintenance engineer for that case or a director in charge of, you definitely need to be having a report which you are coming up with every day. You need to be informed every day that these are the equipments you are using. Are they serviceable? What report do you have from the operator? So I have a very clear mind, Honorable Member and Chair, that unless I just learned from somewhere else, but I would definitely be having information on something ahead of time.
Okay, thank you. So for EC monitoring, what is your take on fleet management?
They are currently, Honorable Member and Chair, we have so much tools of monitoring. We've been assisted by technology. We have general's GPS, general positioning system, whereby you can position an equipment, know even the fuel, the level of the fuel by installing also the fuel management system. Also with the inventories, all those things will help me to achieve my monitoring techniques. Also, I told you each and every person, head of department or the responsible person, definitely knows why he's working there, Honorable Chair and members. So, and I believe this, the public service and also this house definitely selects people based on qualifications, Honorable Member. So definitely, I expect to be getting information the way I will lead from front, knowing what I need from these people. So if I've set my structures that these are the reporting structures, I'm an engineer also, Chair. I can predict some things. I can tell where there is some loopholes whereby it needs to be taken care of in the name of data management, the name of inventory keeping, in the name of staffing. I can interview somebody and tell this person doesn't know what he's doing, or he knows what he's doing, or maybe he just needs to be further equipped knowledge-wise.
Okay. And for this case, we have quite a number of machinery with mechanical breakdown that They have been just been dumped in various garages for so long. So when given this token, where will you start from now?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Member and Chair. For somebody to start a trip, you definitely need to mark out how much energy or how much is expected for that trip. So definitely, I'll need to be updated on all the status of equipment, the inventory status, maybe the technical issues, the faults, which those equipments are there. I'll present to this committee in a name of supplementary or the main budget, requesting for maybe maintenance of those equipments. A stick at hand is better than so much out there which you don't know where you are going to get them from. So we would rather analyze. There will be reports from the staff telling me this one, because we normally have an analysis graph of telling whether the equipment deserves to be brought back to life or you have to dispose it off. If it has reached a certain percentage, if I give you just for a layman's language, if the cost of an equipment, the maintenance cost has reached 60% of the cost of equipment, that deserves to be disposed automatically, because from there it will not be giving you any service. It will always be spending so much at the workshop than being serviceable. So definitely I'll request them to help me with the inventory and the data, the report of each and every equipment. From there, that's where I'll start from. Whether it needs financial, it needs just quick fix, or those I'll definitely categorize. Where it deserves to be brought to this house for further approval of financing, I'll definitely take that action.
So, engineer, can you come out clearly on how you will manage, if given this chance, how will you manage fuel distribution?
Honorable members and chairs, there is procurement law, there is procurement procedure. That is the first entry point of the fuel from the supplier. Then there is management at the department. There is a clear inventory system. If it's not there, we'll definitely install a proper clear inventory system. I told you from my starting comment about in engineering, there are no surprises. You will always know this equipment consumes this amount of fuel. And anybody who tells you he doesn't know, definitely, he must have fallen from a different world. So definitely, it's easier for me using the manager. I'll request for maybe some fuel management system program to be installed, just in case you need to take care of these people. But one first item, maybe if at all with the system we have already now, the operator tells you, I can take these kilometers off with the fuel, full tank of a grader. Unless I move you from Nandi, which is from Kobujoy, I'll die, and I say you come and do some work in Mosoriot, for example, meaning you will be spending all your fuel moving from this side to the other side, then that is when I'll not have production for the fuel which you filled in your tank. So, but with the data which you are going to have, make sure that each and every consumption is signed by the responsible person who receives the fuel. If you are an operator, you can tell me you've been given fuel, you've not signed anywhere you received fuel of this much, and you expected you are delivering this much of work from the fuel you've been given. So each and everybody will be having the responsibility, from the operator to the security receiving the fuel there to the person procuring the fuel. Because if you have received fuel there by supplier, even if the procurement guy told you we are delivering new fuel, but you have to be sure that you received the volume of fuel you've been told that you signed here. So we need to make sure that we have a proper follow-up from the procurement, reception, distribution, the person using it. If we tally, you'll be getting a report here, honorable members, that from the fuel we received, this is the fuel we received, this is the work delivered by this fuel. This is the formula we normally use for consumption as per work delivered on fuel. And it will be very clear, honorable members. I see a funny deviation, it's my responsibility to zero in on that area.
So from your experience, engineer, so how many staff or maybe operators should handle a machine for proper maintenance, or recording?
For that case, it depends on the machine. It depends on the work it's doing. If, for example, I will talk of like a grader, you definitely need 2 operators just in case, and then a mechanic whom you can use for several other equipments, definitely. So if you have 1 operator for this period of time, the other person takes care of it in a certain period, unless there is an emergency whereby you will call upon a certain operator from another side to come and support in case of some natural calamity like health issues. So those are unpredictable issues. But for efficient operation of equipment, not even maintenance, because maintenance is about at the workshop. But the equipment, when it's operational, you need delivery of service from this equipment as per the set, the given by the manufacturer. So if at all I expect employee to work 8 hours, for example, you don't expect that person to work continuously 8 hours for some type of work. So definitely you'll need somebody to a reliever in sort of to assist him. So it depends on the work being done. It depends on the equipments being done also.
Thank you. Back to the chair.
Honorable Birech.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Engineer, I think I have around 3 questions to ask you. One is actually on the quality of the road construction. We have a good number of roads in the 30 wards. And actually here we are looking at the quality of the road. And in your own opinion, as an engineer, what do you consider as of quality of standard as far as construction of the road is concerned? Quality of standard as far as the road construction is concerned. And the same, how do you ensure compliance with these standards during the construction? How do you ensure compliance with the standards that you are going to tell us during the construction process? That's number one. Number two, can you describe your approach to supervising road construction projects to make sure that they meet both safety and the quality requirements? Can you describe in your own approach to supervising road construction projects to make sure they meet both safety and quality requirements? 3, how do you handle material testing? How do you handle material testing and quality assurance for materials used in road construction? In this case, we can talk of marams. How do you handle material testing and quality assurance for both materials used in road construction? You can answer those meanwhile as we prepare to the next question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Member and Chair. If I start with the quality of roads and how to ensure good quality roads are delivered, Honorable Chair, before any work is executed, there is normally a bill of quantities, BQ, which is designed by the engineers. That dictates the type of the work to be done at the site. And the responsibility of the project management team is to make sure that as per the bill of quantities, the standard set by that bill of quantities has to be attained. So sometimes it might be somebody did not explain in advance that what I'm going to do is spot patching, for example. So when he was saying, he's saying, I'm going to do maraming. But in the BQ, it's been stated spot patching. Or maybe he did not even state, but the way he had designed the BQ, the full length of the road is like 5 kilometers by 6 meters wide, for example, or even we do the minimum of 5 meters wide. You are talking of a certain square meters. So if this person gave a lesser square meters, definitely that one tells it's a spot patching exercise which is going to happen. So that's why, Honorable Member and Chair, I was saying, even though we will start with what we are doing and try to improve on everything, I would rather go the way of let the project dictate the cost of budgeting. We should not budget based on the amount of money we have, because we'll do something, after 3 months we'll come back, because somebody was not clear in the design. But the best way, if we were to categorize these roads, definitely it will be clear from the word go that for this category of road in my ward, this is the standard of expectation we are having. The way I was talking about the tarmacking, if we are going to do tarmacking, for example, category C road, definitely that road is a half-inch thickness of asphalt. If you're going to do category B, it's 1 inch or 2 inch or something like that. That's then not half inch, 1 inch for category C, 2 inch for category B, and that way it goes up that way. So if we come up with clear policies whereby we know for this road, it's even easier for a layman to supervise that road, because he knows this road, unless otherwise stated in the bill of quantities, it should be having a thickness of 4 inch in maram. This other one whereby we are talking of grading, it should be having maybe 1 inch maraming and watering and compaction or something like that one. So it's not actually for rough roads, sometimes it doesn't come out clearly because it's based on what the engineers have worked on the BQ. So sometimes this BQ, somebody did not explain clearly in the public participation that the amount of money we have can take us up to this distance. So we'll help each other, honorable members. At least if we categorize, it will be easier for honorable member to tell somebody the work which you've done is not meeting the expectation, because some supervisors might not be confident to tell you, I'm sorry, this work, the expectation was this much. So, and how to make sure that these are met, when we'll be designing the bill of quantities, I will be making sure that the people responsible for that project management committee for that case, it has to be the technical person explains to the members of the community that expect this standard of road for this area. Anything less than that will be, because you see project management committee before payment has to sign, everybody has to sign if it's a contracted work. If it's own done locally here, then that is a different case altogether. But I'll be there, honorable members, to make sure that everybody responsible for a certain category of work to be done delivers to the expectation and as per the guidelines we've agreed on before, because we have to brief each other before somebody goes to the site based on whether it's an emergency road, whether it's an actual implementation of the project or things like that. On the supervision ways, I had stated that each and every person in the department has a role. He is roads, for example, in Aldai, where I'm so much familiar with, off that equipment from that area. If that person has signed off a certain equipment and it was expected to deliver up to a certain, he has to answer definitely. It's very simple and clear. There's no two ways about it, to be sincere, by the way. So you cannot expect me to be taking care of these other responsibilities of making sure that everything trickles down the way it's been planned for, and then I come and supervise for you your work. I come to your work to help your work, then you don't need to be there. Simple and clear. It's not about two-way that, oh, I need to sugarcoat things and agree on this one and this one. It's very simple and straightforward. On material testing, also I had told you, when we'll be doing a BQ, we'll be clarifying clearly, this is the standard of the material. We have a problem with some areas whereby the materials of a certain standard are not available, so they need to move a long distance to collect. So at times it's expensive. So it means the thickness of some maraming of that area might be compromised to take care of, to compensate for the quality which can be achieved. For example, I'll give you an example, honorable members. In Terikwad, for example, there is ease of access of materials, for example. That one is easier. I'll talk also, honorable member, for Chemase, you know also that your place is easier to access material for maraming. So that one is easy and straightforward. And some other areas, it can be a little bit complicated to find that material of a certain quality which you might have picked, because it has the moisture content, it has the roughness, gravel level, all those things are measured, and there's a way of testing each and everything. It can be compressive test, it can be siltation, or all those things which we use.
Thank you, Honorable Kirongo.
Thank you, Chair. Engineer, give us your opinion on this county machinery. What is your opinion? Do you prefer to be managed at the county level or sub-county level?
Okay, thank you, honorable members and chair. It depends on the capacity and availability of resources, chair. For example, if I'm going to manage at the county level, there is ease of mopping up resources in the name of the technical staff to help maintaining the equipments. There is ease of maybe getting the spares being procured from a central point and made sure that whatever the requirement for a certain equipment is met within a shortest time possible. There is also reduced need for manpower to do the procurement and inventory at the various centers. So it's a centralized thing and it's done from a central point. But sometimes mobility of that equipment, for example, moving a grader, unless you have a low loader, you end up getting tear and wear moving a certain equipment. So maybe my wish or my thinking would copy the two. For example, we can agree maintenance can be done for the first line, that is a minor service you are doing at the sub-county level. But when you are doing, when it has reached the major service, the second line or third line servicing, you definitely need it to move it to the headquarters, because there they will be having the technical staff who can bring, and also the equipments to take care of, in need of, maybe you need to break down the equipment into parts. So you definitely have the harnessed equipments to help you, like the cranes, the pulleys, or things like that, to help you to dress down the equipment. So we can adopt both of it, as long as our staff also are well equipped in mobility, because also that one dictates in another way. If we don't have mobility of the staff, then that one can be another problem, because you will be requesting for a second line service to take care of an equipment at a county, for example, in Tindred, so that it can be brought to the headquarters here, and you don't have mobility of that person. You end up using a lorry to take a technician to Tindred, which consumes around 10,000 shillings in fuel, to go to take the technician and back. So sometimes it depends also on the mobility capacity at the place. So at least we will try to analyze what we have and give ourselves the best way we can adopt based on what we have.
Thank you. In your opening remark, you gave us an undertaking that, of course, to the members and to the public, that we should expect a lot from you, which is good. And of course, I know you'll not work in isolation. Now, how will you engage with staff to promote responsible use and care of county vehicles and equipment?
Yes, thank you, Honorable Member and Chair. I had said before, each and every person in the staff fraternity has a role to play. There is somebody who approves, who gives job cards for a certain vehicle or a certain equipment to be moved from point A to point B. There are set regulations in government which gives the timeline for a certain equipment to be operational or to be mobile on the road up to a certain period of time. So with the set regulation and the laws which are there, Chair, if each and every member of the staff follows due process and follows the due set out laws, definitely will minimize that automatically like in the region of 80%. The other bit of 30%, 20% will be about negligence and things like that, which we can handle in a disciplinary way. But also we expect the staff also to be motivated. When reaches a case whereby I'll be asking you members to help us maybe with so much work which we'll be doing to take care of the allowances and things like that, it helps also motivated staff is a good staff to be sincere.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Good afternoon, Engineer. My question, Engineer, is concerning the encroachment of roads. There has been a serious issue of encroachment on roads across the county. And when you look at this encroachment, It has even made some even other routes being impassable. How will you address this issue when given chance? And number two, what are some of the legal framework which you will put so that we can address this issue of road encroachment? Lastly, is as a county, we have a fuel tank, we have a fuel pump, and we have even the what we call the fuel tank, which has been going across taking fuel. But although we have those assets, it has not been serving county well. How will you address this issue so that we can have value for money as a county? Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Member and Chair. On the encroachment aspect, I don't know why, Honorable Members, and I think also all of us, we need to ask ourselves, have you ever thought of a person, maybe somebody in the community there, even restricting access on the Kenya highways? I don't know, because I've never seen something like that. Maybe from there I'll start now my point, Honorable Members. Because sometimes we make us people, like for example, the staff would like to implement a certain regulations which are set out, and maybe we'll come to this also, this Honorable House to help us on that area. But you'll find we'll accommodate some level of politics around it to just take around. I don't know whether you can see also a neighbor can accept his land to be moved even by 1 inch or by 1 foot. It will be real issues, and somebody will be called upon immediately in the name of a surveyor to come and take care of those issues. So we need to, you help us also, Honorable Members. I'll check the legal frameworks which are available as per the County Assembly here. I'll also check what is there in national. We'll borrow from Kenya. We'll definitely borrow from Kenya. We need to sensitize our community the importance of road networks. I know the way there's a problem so much is the drainage, where sometimes it can be a little bit complicated, that one. But also with agreement, we localize it in a way that we have to agree with the community, as long as we explain to them and also apply the legal leeways which we have to make sure that before we do a road opening, we see the cost involved in working out on the extents of the road by sending a surveyor. If we have leg room to accommodate that financial aspect of opening fast, because sometimes some roads which have been encroached involve somebody has built structures or somebody has built serious level of boundary walls and things like that. So it has a legal way of taking care of it, giving a notice to this person to move to the right place. You have to give legally a certain period of time for that person to implement the process of moving. Then there will be the cost involved. As per Kenya, the cost of removing is on you, the person who built that structure, the person whom you encroached, as long as you had been given a proper beacon, that this place, you can see there is a beacon from this place to the other side. So if at all, if finances allows us, I will try to bring a bill here to help us take care of beaconing our roads also, even if in a small way. So that somebody, even if he encroach, it gives room even for revenue to county. Worst case scenario, somebody decides to encroach a beacon, definitely it's easier to penalize that person. And that penalty help us even maintaining that road in a way. So if we will move, the first phase is sensitizing the people on the importance of keeping the standard of road. Some locals down there, Honorable Members, don't even know there is a standard measure of a road. So even if we are saying they've encroached, they don't know a standard measure of a road. Then they are thinking you are actually pulling his boundary so that you eat into his or her land. So at least we need to sensitize them to tell them these categories of road minimum currently is this much. So you have to make sure that we are sending you surveyors, you move out to this much. We give you a period of this period of time. After that, expect no negotiation from there. And then fuel tank issue. With the fuel management system, Honorable Members, and also the team responsible for fuel distribution, there's always a voucher for delivering fuel from one point to the other point. The person collecting fuel from the point of filling this mobile tanker signs in the name of an operator that have been given full level of fuel, which is going to take care of machine A, Bravo, Alpha, or something like that. So once the machine the fuel tanker reaches the destination, the person whom the equipment is being filled has a voucher also to sign in acceptance of receiving a certain volume of fuel. Those documents has to be brought to the office. That one gives the inventory on telling somebody we need to reorder, because there will be a reorder level, for example, in that case, even though there is a budget, but still there is that level of reorder. So with all those documentation, there is no way you will be given your tank and you're going to get your allowance, and in the document you did not sign to receive fuel. So it means you are not at the site when the fuel was being delivered. So each and every person responsible will definitely be having to append a signature on some document to confirm I've received this fuel, this tanker really left the station and it reached my place. There is the monitoring system, the GPS system of monitoring the mobility of these vehicles also, which tells somebody, the mechanical engineer there, that this equipment moved from this point to this point. Surely, did it reach on time? If it did not reach on time, the supervisor in charge of road there, the inspector, will tell the engineer, look, from your mechanical workshop or from where you loaded the fuel, this vehicle arrived at 10, and my starting time of work is supposed to be 8, for example. So those should be the triggers to tell somebody is taking laxity somewhere, because unless something else, and also the community, we need to engage also the communities. The community to be part of the project management team in a way, in sort of. They can tell immediately. While I was working in my own private things, honorable members, the community will tell me, I think we need to go and ban those equipments very soon, because they are not moving. They have been staying. I'll give an example. So the community also has a view to tell us what they are feeling from our services. They definitely have a bigger stake on informing even new honorable members that when you send this equipment, it didn't do anything. Or this vehicle which delivered fuel, it just landed here and took off. There was nothing which was delivered here. So definitely, and also then the mechanism of measuring the lead deliverables in the name of work done. If the work done is not commensurate with the fuel consumed, definitely it triggers a signal also.
I want to believe that no one of us has a supplementary question to the nominee.
Yeah, just one.
Well,
engineer, how many times have you been to the Department of Roads? And when was the last time you been there?
To be sincere, honorable members, none.
None. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Sarah, you can ask the very last question. Thereafter, to the nominee, you can have in less than 3 minutes to make your closing remarks.
Okay, engineer. Okay, having been a resident of Nandi County, you understand very well the topography of our land in Nandi County. So we have the hills and valleys and so on. So you find that most of the funds has been spent on road maintenance. And the main problem is drainage. So what advice are you giving to the honorable members and even those who are, everybody who is managing roads construction, now that the ward fund will take off on the side of drainage, because they are the one who will be allocating funds?
Okay, thank you, honorable members. It's a good question. I think from the word go, I was trying to put a narrative and maybe to push that when I'll come and request this honorable house to help me in categorizing roads. I believe in a stretch of 10 kilometers, you'll find 1 kilometer is the one which is steep or something like that, for example. The other portion can be evenly sloppy or something like that. So if we categorize, when we will be categorizing those roads and we find that this road, because of a certain nature, need a certain category of work to be done, there are no surprises in engineering, honorable member. There will always be a solution to take care of that aspect of the road, but also there will be, anyway, a budget involved. I believe also, honorable members, with the Ward Development Fund, the honorable member will be working closely with the technical team for advisory on the allocation of a certain budget requirement for a specific road, so that we don't end up spending resources which can be washed away with just simple rain. So that at least the honorable members are well informed on the expected budgeting allocation for that, a certain road in his or her area. So that we don't end up spending, and the next day it rains. And you know the problem with Nandi, 70% of the time rains. 30% is the one that is limited. There is no much, it's small rain, not that much heavy rain. But the 70% is seriously heavy rain. So at least in that way, we would rather strategize and negotiate with agree or get the technical advice from the technical staff, because I trust them. And I believe they know what ails a certain area and what is expected to be done in a certain area. That way, even if we would be expecting to help everybody, but even the national government, honorable members, has 85% of the budget, and yet they don't do all our roads at a go. They always do some patching elsewhere, they do major maintenance elsewhere. They do. So if we will also adopt that technical advice in a way, we'll try to strategize the way the national government has 85%, we have only 15 in county, and we try to do so much, so at least we see what to achieve and what cannot be achieved. That way you are very sure if this category of road, you did major grading today, the next phase you'll be doing patches only. And you'll be saving to upgrade the next other side of the road to this other category. That's my thinking, honorable member.
I think that is all from the committee. You can now have 2 minutes to make your closing remarks.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker and members present. Thank you so much for the time you've given to me. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Thank you for the questions you've given me. It's really built me also capacity-wise. It has given me also at least expanded my knowledge, and maybe you might think, somebody might think like you have some information in some areas, but definitely every day is a learning curve. And I appreciate you, honorable members and speaker, that much for that extent. I appreciate you for the time. I appreciate you for everything you're doing to these people, this honorable county. They expect so much from you people. We are approaching the next phase of the period, that is the 5-year term. We are moving to the next phase. I believe there will be so much expectation from you people. The scorecard will be starting. Honorable members will be there if we are honored to be given this opportunity to help you achieve the promises you've done to the electorate. That's my closing remarks, Honorable.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the committee, we also are very grateful for the engagement that we've done. And at this particular point in time, you stand discharged. I know the committee will retreat to consider this approval hearing. So you stand discharged, and ensure as you leave this place, make sure that you have your original documents. Thank you, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you, sir.